I don't see how, ma'am. He says you were the only woman on the bus with a baby.
What's the point of this, Sergeant? I don't understand any of this.
Well, now, frankly, Ms. Lewis, neither do we. I don't know why you're lying to us about this, but apparently you are.
You're wrong. I'm not lying. It happened just the way I told you. The girl gave me the baby to hold, and then she disappeared. There's no reason for me to lie about that.
We found a receipt for a hospital bill in that valise with the baby's things in it. The receipt was made out to Dorothy Miller.
Well, that proves it, doesn't it? She was on the bus with me, and her baby was with her.
Check was made with a hospital at Tucson. They remembered the name Dorothy Miller. She gave birth to a baby boy about 7 weeks ago. She wasn't the same girl you described to us. Description wasn't even close.
Then it must be a mistake. I guess somebody made a mistake. I can't understand any of this.
They sent us back a description of the Dorothy Miller who stayed at the hospital. Fairly tall woman, short brown hair, about 29 or 30.
Yes?
Description fits you, Mrs. Lewis. Fits almost perfectly.
It's wrong. It has to be wrong. The whole thing's a mistake.
No, I don't think so, ma'am.
Why don't you tell me? What do you think? Tell me, please.
Well, there is no Dorothy Miller. There never was. There's no such person.
That's what you really think. I invented it? I made it all up?
Did you?
And the baby. What about him? If there's no Dorothy Miller, what about the baby?
I don't know. You want to tell us? Ms. Lewis?
Yes. Yes.
Mrs. Lewis, anything we can do?
Thank you. I'm all right. I suppose I knew it would happen sometime. I tried not to think about it.
Yeah?
I knew you'd found out. That's why you asked if my husband was with me, isn't it? You didn't want to embarrass me.
We wanted to give you a chance to tell your side of the story. We thought maybe you wanted to keep it from your husband.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll tell him. He'll be back in a few minutes. He can do anything he wants, and I won't blame him. He'll pack his bag and walk out and leave, and I won't blame him. Nobody will blame him.
You want to tell us about it?
I think you know. It's my baby. My own baby, and I couldn't keep him. There wasn't anything else to do. Nothing. My own baby.
You made up the whole story about the girl, Dorothy Miller. Her leaving the baby with you. Mrs. Lewis?
Well, now, you must have had a reason for it, Mrs. Lewis. Giving your baby away. You want to tell us about it?
Won't make any difference. Done. It's all done. It's my husband I'm thinking about. Walter. I'm going to have to hurt him, and I don't want to hurt him. I don't know how I'm going to tell him.
Tell him what, ma'am?
I love him, Sergeant. I tried to explain. I didn't want to be alone. Having him away all the time, I knew there was going to be trouble. I knew it. I didn't want to be alone, and he didn't understand. He only said I was fooling.
Yes, ma'am.
He left for overseas in October, almost 2 years ago. I went down to Wilmington. I saw him leave on the boat. I stood there and watched him go. I wasn't going to see him. 24 months, I wouldn't see him. No children, no family, just a 2-room apartment. If he only believed me. If he only would have taken me with him.
Yes, ma'am.
I took it for a year. A whole year. A 2-room apartment, being alone. I wrote to Walter twice a week. It didn't do any good. He didn't want me with him a whole year. And it got too much.
You mean you could have joined him overseas? He didn't want you to.
I don't know why. I kept writing to him, and he kept letting me off a whole year. Got too much a 2-room apartment alone. You can't spend your life that way. I started going out. wedding date. I had to get out. I started going to parties. Different people. Guess I drank too much. I didn't want to be alone. I guess I always drank too much.
Yes, ma'am.
There was one party. I don't even remember who I went with. I guess I was drinking. I don't know. And I left. I don't even remember who I was with. It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to happen like this.
Are you all right, Mrs. Lewis? There's something we can get for you?
No, I'm all right. I didn't know what to do when I found out. And saw the doctor. He didn't understand it either. I mean, the way I felt. He said the baby would be born in June. I cried. He didn't understand.
Yes, ma'am.
When the time came, I went to Tucson, Arizona. They had my baby. At least I wasn't alone. I used a different name at the hospital. Dorothy Miller. Maybe it wasn't Walter's baby. But it was mine. It was mine.